You know why I'm vacationing in Dubai right now? Because I stopped drowning in RFEs, intake calls, and late night filings. I used to hire freelancers who barely knew what a G28 was. Total chaos. Then I found IMI support, virtual immigration paralegals trained in real case prep, docket-wise, and USCIS workflows. Now my calendar's clean, my clients are happy, and my firm runs while I relax. You can hustle or you can outsource smart. I chose freedom. I chose IMI support.
Hello, everyone, and once again, welcome back to this very important and very exciting webinar that is lined up just for you. I'm your host, Sam, and you're watching Immigration Talk Show. And before moving ahead, let me read out this very important disclaimer. By watching our videos, you agree and understand that the information provided by our experts and attorneys, including comments and replies from users, is not a legal advice. Use of information at your own risk. All right, friends, once again, welcome back everyone to Immigration Talk Show, and it's me, your host, Sam. And we are also live on YouTube, LinkedIn, on X, and do follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, X, and on Instagram as well. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Our handle is at Immigration Talk Show. And talking about today's topic is again very important and a very timely one. That is O-1 visa for tech professionals. Is it worth exploring? So, whenever a tech professionals think about working in the US, the first thing that comes to their mind is H-1B visa. And along with it, the stress of lotteries, long wait times, and limited chances. But what if there's another option? That means no lottery, no long wait, just a chance to shine. And that's where the O-1 visa comes in. It's lesser known, but trust me, it's incredibly powerful. And if you don't know what it is, who can apply for it, and what is the whole process, then this is the platform that is right for you. So watch this session till the end and also participate here as much as possible because the guest who is going to join us has an expertise on O-1 visa. None other than, let me introduce him, immigration attorney Ralph Antonioli, who has 20 years of experience in the US and Latin America. Also, he's a strong advocate, a great communicator, and a passionate supporter of disability inclusion in law. He's been named as a top lawyer, featured in Who's Who in America, and honored with the Worldwide Humanitarian Award. So, hi, Ralph, and thank you so much for being here. It's been a long time, and welcome back once again to Immigration Talk Show. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you, Sam? Thank you so much for inviting me over here. I'm glad we can talk about this important topic, especially during this time when there is a lot of misinformation. So hopefully we can, clear the air for a lot of your viewers and, also demystify the fact that O1s are not just for superstars like people think, and that, with proper preparation and a good lawyer, you can actually get an O1. So let's get going.
Wow, that's super exciting. And I'm sure our viewers are also really excited for this session. So, friends, go ahead. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We have so many important information to unpack in this webinar. Hope you'll enjoy. And also, the best part is that you can also get in touch with attorney Ralph Antonioli. You just have to visit this link and you'll get the contact details of him. Okay, and with this, Ralph, if you can let us know, some brief about what O-1 visa actually is, then that will be little helpful for our viewers.
Yes. So the O1 visa is a non-immigrant. First of all, it's a non-immigrant category, sort of like an H-1B. The O1 visa is not a green card. The O1B is sort of a work visa that will allow you to work in the United States for an initial period of 3 years, and then you can extend indefinitely for 1 year increments. So what is it? It's a visa that it's reserved for people who can demonstrate extraordinary ability. Extraordinary ability is a word of art here. Um, it doesn't mean that you have to be a superstar. That's why at the beginning of the show I said
Mhm.
that when you see extraordinary ability, it can be a little intimidating, but it's I mean that's not the case. In the case of tech professional, this being extraordinary ability simply means not that you're just good at your job, but you are probably among the best in your field. That's really what you're showing. To keep it short, current law requires that you know there are two ways to get an O-1 visa.
Mhm.
One is if you have secured a big award, for example, like a Nobel Prize or um, like an Oscar. I mean, we're talking about technology, but I'm just like a huge award in the industry. If you don't have that, then you go to the second option of how to get the O-1. So there, and we're going to focus on tech professionals. Um, what you're trying to show here is that you're just not good, but that you stand out in your field. That's sort of and how do you do that? The immigration law provides um, an avenue, which is the O-1 visa, and for people to, and which is the most common way for people who do not have a, like a major award or the U.S. law provide 8 categories you may that you may choose from to demonstrate that you are an extraordinary ability individual.
Mhm.
Uh, there are eight, like I said, there are 8 categories. The law only requires that you show 3. From a practice perspective, I usually recommend clients to at least meet 4 or 5 if they can. In the event that USCIS does not find that you meet one, then you have another one to fall back on. You know what I mean? So, so yes, the typical route for a technology professional will be to meet at least 3 of the 8 um, criteria that the U.S. law currently provides, so you can meet the extraordinary ability definition. So that's really the goal. You don't have to show that you're a superstar. You don't have to show that you are in Forbes magazine or you're in all these. You got all these awards that you are like super famous. I mean, we're going to talk about that later, but being famous has nothing to do with the O-1. With the O-1, like I always like to tell my clients, it's sort of like a statutory dance. You just need to meet. You need to have a good lawyer, and you need to be creative. And I think that's where tech professionals will come in, because to be successful as a tech professional, you have to be creative. So that's basically what the O-1 is. It's like you also sort of indicated, this is a way for people to find employment in the US, but not have to worry about like the H-1B cap. That's the major difference, because
Yeah.
the H-1B caps only comes once a year. Um, and but the O-1, as long, again, the caveat here is you have to meet the definition of extraordinary ability, and I explained how you do that. You have to meet certain criteria. So that's basically how the O-1 works. I'm going to be saying this a lot today. Uh, Today, as you can imagine, there is a lot of uncertainty in the immigration law, even in the U.S. economy and everything you can imagine. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to tell people how to navigate the current environment. So that's really our goal. Um, yeah, so that's really what I have for as an introductory. I see that there are questions coming in, but we're going to focus on those a little bit later.
Sure, absolutely. And I have so many questions for you, Ralph. But thank you so much for explaining what O-1 visa is in a great way. And absolutely very well said. It's not only for superstars, it is basically for the people who are creative, right? So I think that's great. And I'm sure our viewers are understanding what O-1 visa and having a great background about it too. So also talking about some educational qualifications, Ralph, because you have said that they have to be creative, they have to be best in what they do. So what about the educational qualifications? If we talk about H-1B, they need to have certain background, right, in terms of education. What about O-1
Well,
visa?
O1 visa, there's technically no educational requirement.
Wow.
I mean, of course, it helps because you can, like I said, you have to meet at least three of the um, at least three of the eight categories that the U.S. law provides for to meet an O1 visa. Um, and but education is not a priority. Sort of like as opposed to the H-1B, where you have to show that you have a bachelor's degree that is
Yeah.
related to the to the field of you know to a particular field that you're in the field you're going to work on. So that's not an issue in. And as we're going to talk about also here is there is no prevailing wage like there is in the H-1B. So
Mhm.
the O-1 sort of lends itself to for employers to sort of maneuver around salary requirements. And again, like I said, education, I'm not saying it's not important, but it's not a um, make or break like in the H-1B scenario. You can definitely use your education to meet one of the requirements, or
Mhm.
to sort of artfully. Um, but again, education is not a threshold requirement. I mean, again, you can use it as a strategy, but that's not. I mean, the O1 is really not focused on education, rather on whether you can meet the definition of extraordinary ability. Okay.
Okay, I think that's another very challenging thing because when you are doing a course, like for example, if you're having bachelor's, but on the other hand, you need to have extraordinary ability. So that becomes more challenging and more difficult to prove that why you are such a good one, right? With education,
Mhm.
it's pretty easy. You can study, you can score, but in terms of extraordinary ability, I think that becomes more challenging. And that's how
Yeah, I
these.
mean, I mean, if I may add, I think
Sure.
the H-1B is sort of aimed at newly grads. So, if you have a bachelor's and you just graduated, probably
Mhm.
the H-1B is probably your best bet. You don't have a big portfolio yet, so you can qualify as an O-1. So, you know, I mean, that's just how it works. And what it's typical in the US, right? Yes, you come here on an F1 or whatever it may be, you get your bachelor's, and then you do your OPT, and you do your depending on your if you do understand OPT or whatever it may be, and then but yeah, I just want to clarify that the O1 requires a little more work. It's not
Absolutely.
impossible, but it requires a lot of strategy.
Yeah, it does. And with that, I'll say, friends, it also requires expert advice and the right guidance. And it is very important to have the expert advice right now. So please go ahead and get in touch with attorney Ralph Antonioli. You just have to visit this link that will be visible on the screen, and you'll get the contact details of him. Okay, and with that, I can see Ricky is also here. Okay, Jay is also here. So, Ralph, we are getting a lot of engagement in this session. I
Yes.
think people are really interested in O1 visa. So, it's really great. Jay, Rudra, Yuri, please stay with us and stay connected. And also, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, then please do it right now. Okay, let me go ahead with my questions, Ralph, that I have for you. That can
Yes.
awards or patents help you get an O1 visa? And also, how much do they matter?
Well, awards and patents, again, they're helpful, but they have to, again, you have to be strategic about it. Um, just because you have an award doesn't mean it's automatically going to qualify you for an O1 or to meet with the awards um, criteria for O1s. The awards need to be nationally or internationally recognized. So, for example, to keep it very simple, like a generic employee of the month is not gonna is not gonna cut it. Um, you have to show that the award is distinguished and selective. So you need to sort of do a little bit of homework and kind of um, spell out how is this award given. So if the award is given to almost everybody, that's probably not going to be enough. But if you got the award because of publications or because of work you've done in AI or in machine learning or whatever, yeah, the award um, has to be given based on something you have done. So that's one of the criteria. And the same thing with patents. If you have a patent that has been granted, probably the best way to show is that that your patent's being commercialized, for example, or that it's been cited by other people in their work, or that it's been adopted in the industry. So, for example, if you develop certain language that is being used industry wide, that goes a really long way. So, at the end of the day, awards are one of the criteria. Again, you have to meet at least 3 out of 8. I'm happy to give you all 8, but I think if we go question by question, you will probably get a better understanding of how they work. One of these criteria, as I've said, is awards. Um, as you may recall at the beginning, I said if you have an international, highly recognized award, that's probably all you need. But I mean, the chances of someone in the tech industry having a Nobel Prize, that's pretty slim, right? So, um, but again, if you do, I mean, that's all you need. Um, yeah, so that's basically how patents and awards. At the end of the day, you have to do a objective analysis rather than subjective analysis. You have to, and what I always tell clients too is a lot of the USCIS employees, they don't, when they look at your application, they don't know anything about you. They don't know anything about what you do. So it's your job to basically tell your story. Tell them why you are an extraordinary ability person. And you go through what the law says. You go step by step.
Mhm.
And um, and I think we're going to talk about this a little bit later, but I do want to emphasize that in today's environment, you have to include, and this is not only for O1s, you can also, it's also good practice for H-1Bs or any other, like, what are you bringing to the United States? Why
Mhm.
is it that because, now everything is focused on America first.
Yeah.
So that means, okay, I am really good at X,
Mhm.
and then you have to make an extra effort then and say, okay, X is going to benefit the United States national security, technology
Mhm.
landscape, etc., because of this. So that's something that I probably going to emphasize a lot today. You have to be really like US benefit focused, if you will. So yeah, I mean the awards and patents are one way to, but again, it's just one way. You need at least three criteria. So one of them will be awards or patents. Um, yeah, so we can keep going with the other elements if you want. Um,
Sure, why not?
yeah, so for instance, just to give you an idea, and I'm going to read it straight from the regulations so you know what they say. Um, again, you can either be a recipient of a major international award, such as the Nobel Prize or any other.
Mhm.
Again, I mean, if the award is not probably well known, then you go into the second category where you have to show at least 3 out of 8 criteria as to why you are a person with extraordinary abilities. So, for example, like we just discussed, the first criteria is documentation of received or nationally or internationally recognized awards for excellence. That's the key word there in the
Mhm.
field of endeavor. Um, the second criteria is membership in organizations that require the member to have, excellent achievements and to, not just any membership where you just pay a fee and you join. It's got to be a membership that, like an organization where they sort of selected you
Mhm.
um, for being a member. So, for example, like a fellowship.
Mhm.
Or the other thing is published material in major trade publications. So again, this is just another. I mean, I see some of the questions here saying, "Well, I published a few articles, and is that
Mhm.
enough?" And I say, "Well, it depends. Like, where was the article published, and was it cited by other people? Is it relied upon by people in the industry?"
Okay.
Um, those are the questions you have to ask. And again, remind that just publishing articles is one criteria. You have to meet at least three. So, yeah. Then the other one is the person having worked in a panel, like for judging the work of others. I'm not sure how relevant this will be in the tech industry, but
Mhm.
sometimes you have competitions, and people have called you to be a judge because of what you do and because you're known in your industry and your sector, and you can use that to meet one of the criteria for extraordinary ability. um, the other, and I think this is very critical for tech professionals. It says evidence of the person's original scientific, scholarly, or business related contributions. This goes back to patents, right? um, so what did you do that has made you stand out in the industry? That's what that means. Like how do you what you, I mean, why are you different than all the other tech
Yeah.
professionals? That's basically what you're trying to do.
Mhm.
Stand out from the rest. Um, Again, the other, and I think we're going to talk about this later, but another criteria is you have to show that you have been employed in a critical or essential capacity with companies. So, for instance, in January there was an update to the O-1 category, where the person could start its own LLC, for example, and
Mhm.
then that company will serve as the sponsor, and and the person who started the LLC could potentially meet, depending on other factors, they could meet that he's employed in a critical or
Yeah.
um, capacity, because let's say you start your own company and you're the president, right? So you're definitely, that's again, it's all. And ultimately, the eighth, and I'm not sure if this is relevant to the tech industry, but usually when high salary is another criteria. So, for example,
Mhm.
what you do is you compare, okay, as a tech professional, let's say, just for the sake of argument, I make $1 million a year, and your typical person in my position makes 200,000, right? Then you can argue that your remuneration is a lot more than the typical. So that's how you meet that criteria. So that's basically, like I said at the beginning, it's a statutory dance. You got to go criteria by criteria and see, okay, how can we meet this? Do we meet this?
Mhm.
That's basically what you do. I mean, it's not, um, and that's one of the things that why we're doing this is, sometimes people believe that, okay, I wrote a couple articles, that's enough. Fortunately, no. I mean, that may work to meet one criteria, but you have to show more than that. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So yeah, I think that's pretty a good picture of what, how you meet the O-1 criteria. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm ready for your next questions.
That's wonderfully explained, and I'll say, Ralph, that everything has been explained in a very detailed manner. So thank you so much for that, and it's really appreciating. And I'm saying that our friends have also joined us. So friends, stay tuned, stay connected with us. We'll be coming back just after a quick break. So don't go anywhere, and keep watching Immigration Talk Show.
You know why I'm vacationing in Dubai right now? Because I stopped drowning in RFEs, intake calls, and late night filings. I used to hire freelancers who barely knew what a G28 was. Total chaos. Then I found IMI support, virtual immigration paralegals trained in real case prep, DocketWise, and USCIS workflows. Now my calendar's clean, my clients are happy, and my firm runs while I relax. You can hustle or you can outsource smart. I chose freedom. I chose IMI support.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Immigration Talk Show. It's me, your host, Sam, and we are having a great discussion with immigration attorney none other than Ralph Antonioli on the topic O-1 visa for tech professionals. Is it worth exploring? So, till now, we have covered so many questions, and now we are also left with many more. So, I think without any further ado, Ralph, let me go ahead with my next question for you. And okay, let me pick up this one that how does the O-1 visa can beat the H-1B when it comes to tech jobs? Because H-1B is also highly popular among tech professionals. So how is
Yes,
it better?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So yeah, we sort of touched upon this a little bit earlier. The O1, it's probably not the first choice for tech professionals. Most people, like you said, are more familiar with the H-1B
Yes.
category, which is typically how people come here to the United States to start there. I mean, I started as an H-1B,
Okay.
um, so there are a few things that make the O1 attractive. Um, I would say the most attractive the most attractive factor of a O1 is probably that there is no lottery and there is no
Yeah.
cap. So, as you know, for H-1Bs, you have to, well, especially now, there's a lottery, you have to register, then you have to wait until you're registered, and then if you're registered, you can apply. So it's kind of, there's a lot of uncertainties with the H-1B. The O-1 is, in that sense, is very flexible. If you meet with your lawyer, you go through the details, and if you can meet the O-1 criteria, you can do it at any time. There is no cap. There is no, I mean, you can do it any time of the year. The other thing is there is like I explained earlier, there is no prevailing wage requirement. So this allows for a lot of flexibility for employers and employees to sort of structure a compensation package that could, potentially even meet the high salary criteria. But again, the important note here is that there is no prevailing wage. So for those familiar with the H-1B process, before you can file your H-1B, you need to get a labor condition application with the Department of Labor, where they basically certify that you can only pay this much. That doesn't exist in the O-1 world. So the other caveat that I do want to provide is that the O-1, as you've probably noticed by now, the O-1 requires a higher standard. So it's
Yeah.
not. I mean, it can be flexible, but I mean, the reality is that not everybody will qualify. Um,
True.
but this is why you have to work with competent counsel, because people who have done this and know how to navigate, especially nowadays where there's a lot more scrutiny on all
Yeah.
kinds of cases, not just O1s, all cases. Um, and another great advantage of the O1 is that if you have been granted an O1, you're probably 50% there to for an EB1 visa, which is sort of the I will probably call it the immigrant brother of the O1, because the O1 is for non-immigrant to work, whereas the EB1, it's for you to get an immigrant visa. So the EB1, you do it through what's called the I-140 form,
Yeah.
um, and the excuse me, the the requirements for the EB1 are very similar to the O1s. So that like if you met the O1, that's why I said you're probably 50% there. Um, so those are probably I would probably say the fact that there is no cap. Um, it's probably a game changer because that allows for you to plan anytime. I mean, if you can meet the the documents and the requirements, you can do your O1 anytime. You don't have to worry about a H-1B cap or anything.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, if you're interested in staying in the United States, if you've been granted an O1, um, getting your EB1 is probably halfway there. So I would probably say those are the major advantages over the H-1B category.
That's right. And that's wonderfully explained, Ralph. And I'm sure our friends are keeping a note of all these pointers. And guys, if you have any other question or any other doubt regarding the topic, then please go ahead, put them on the comment section. And we would love to take all those questions. So, with that, Ralph, I think let me go ahead and take up some of our viewers' question too. So, hi Ricky, and Ricky is here. So, Ricky is posting a question that is, if I'm one of the core members of the startup helping technically as well as in raising funds and bringing in new projects, then can you suggest ways to use this to build profile for O1 petition? Also, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I can take that question. Yeah. So the O1 is a the O1 is one of the favorite categories for startups because you know usually when you're in a startup you can afford to wait for the H-1B season. Also, you need top talent fast. Um, and like when I discussed the criteria, as one of the core members, you can argue that you are a founder, and that will put you in an essential role. So you will meet that criteria. Um, so yes, I think the O1 is very popular among startups. And again, as long as you sit down with your lawyer, go over the criteria, and you can definitely build a successful O1. I'm going to emphasize this that O1s is all about strategy.
Mhm.
It's about it's not as much as being fast, but as being compelling, being presenting an application that sells itself. Like I said, you have to keep in mind who's looking at this. It's probably somebody who knows absolutely nothing about what you do. So your job is to basically educate them and give them a roadmap as to why you are a person of extraordinary ability, and again, why you're coming to the United States to benefit the US. Um, that's critical in the current environment. So I hope that answers the question. Yeah, I mean, just because just because you're a startup doesn't mean that's actually it puts you in a better position because you're an entrepreneur, right? So
That's right. Absolutely. And I hope, Ricky, you got your answer. And thank you so much, Ralph, for taking up this question. Okay, let me go ahead with Jay's question. So, hi Jay, and thank you so much for your participation. Hope you have subscribed to our channel. If you haven't, then please do it right now. Okay, so Jay is saying that I am a senior data scientist with a few published papers, and I have given some internal tech talks at my company, but nothing in major media. So, do I realistically have a shot at qualifying for O1 or should I not bother?
Yeah, that's a great question. And like I said before, it's all about how you present. Um, if your papers have been published, if your papers have been cited, um, you may use those to meet one criteria. I mean, and again, I want to remind your viewers that um, one criteria is not enough. You have to meet at least three out of eight. So you can most definitely use your published papers and your tech talks and put it all together and make an objective argument that you are on top of your field and you meet that criteria. But again, that's just one criteria though. Um you may be able to sit down and discuss and see how those papers have been cited, how where are they published. Again, I'm an eternal optimist, so I don't I will never tell a client don't even bother. I mean, I'm the type of guy who's like, he's probably going to go for it, but again, the O1 it requires a lot of strategy. You can't go at it softly, and
Mhm.
two, you can't go at it alone. Not especially now. You need to have a competent counsel to guide you because um, this is not a do-it-yourself type visa, especially now in the current environment. Um, so Jay, I mean, I don't think the I don't think you should you should think that it's not worth it. I will probably focus on how do I meet the other criteria. That should probably be your mindset. So I hope that helps.
All right. And Jay, you can also get in touch directly with attorney Ralph Antonioli. Just have to visit this link and you can share your status, you can share your case or any other documents, and he would love to help you out. Okay, let me move ahead with Yuri's question. So, hi Yuri, and thank you so much for your participation. Yuri is asking that I have been working on open source AI tools for years and I have decent recognition on GitHub. Does that carry weight with USCIS for O1 or do they only
Yeah.
value traditional press and academic credentials? Yes, Ralph, please go ahead.
Yes. Yeah. The same. This is sort of related to is the same question as Jay asked. Yes, you can definitely make an argument that your contributions to the open source and your recognitions in GitHub have been um, will help you meet one of the criterias. But again, the mindset is okay. I meet one. How do I meet the rest, or at
Mhm.
least most of the rest? That's
Yeah.
that's really the at the end of the day. If you prepare well, you put together a really good application. You show how is it that you're going to benefit the United States, and carefully go through these criteria. An O1 is absolutely doable. So, but it requires patience, it requires preparation, and it requires good counsel. So
That's right. Absolutely. And in 2025, I'll suggest that it is better, friends, to have a direct, expert consultation, and that will be a pretty safe option for you. So we have shared the link of our attorney Ralph Antonioli. You just have to visit and go ahead, get in touch with him. Okay, Kriti is also here. And hi, Kriti. Thank you so much. I think you have joined us for the very first time. So please make sure to subscribe to our channel. Our handle is at Immigration Talk Show. Okay, so Ralph, Kriti has a question for you that is just getting IEEE senior membership enough for satisfying O1A membership criteria? I have strong other three criterias.
Uh, so it depends what are the requirements to be a senior member of. That's the first question. Like, how do you become a senior member? Um, if if you if there is some type of criteria for you to become a senior member, then that's you can definitely make the argument. If you have three other criteria, then that's perfect. You're going to have four. And I usually recommend my clients to meet at least four in the event that USCIS um, does not believe that you meet. So I'm going to sort of graphically explain how this works, so you can understand how
Mhm.
USCIS looks at this. So let's say in the case of Kriti, we put together your O-1 and we argue for four criteria. We send the application gets received, and let's say we get an RFE. So the RFE usually looks like, okay, based on what you provided, you said you meet four of the eight criteria. Um, and then the RFE will go through criteria by criteria and say, okay, based on what you submitted, we believe you met these criteria. Or based on what you submitted, we believe you didn't. Then you have three left.
Mhm.
So that's how they look at it. It's a pretty mechanical process, but that's why strategy and having experienced lawyer is critical. So
That's right.
yeah, I
That's
just
right.
see that Chris said that. So that's your gold ticket right there. So yeah, that's exactly that's the argument you're making. Um, so
Mhm.
yeah,
All right. Thank you so much, Ralph, for taking up this
yeah, of
question.
course.
And Kriti is also here, and she's saying that, okay, got it. Thanks. Thank you so much, Kriti, for your participation. And I hope you have subscribed to our channel. If you haven't, then please do it right now. And with that, friends, now it's time for a short and a quick break. So don't go anywhere. We are coming back in this platform only. So don't go anywhere. Join us after a short break and keep watching Immigration Talk Show.
You know why I'm vacationing in Dubai right now? Because I stopped drowning in RFEs, intake calls, and late night filings. I used to hire freelancers who barely knew what a G28 was. Total chaos. Then I found IMI Support, virtual immigration paralegals trained in real case prep, DocketWise, and USCIS workflows. Now my calendar's clean, my clients are happy, and my firm runs while I relax. You can hustle or you can outsource smart. I chose freedom. I chose IMI Support.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Immigration Talk Show. I hope we have been talking about a lot of O-1 visa, and the topics and the queries that we have covered in this session is going to be helpful for you. And Ralph is also here, and he is doing a great job. So once again, Ralph, thank you so much for your,
My pleasure.
answering all the questions and yeah, taking it in a very detailed way. So we have few more questions from our viewers. So I think let me continue with those. And here's another question, Ralph, from Ricky's side. So Ricky is asking, what is the timeline you are seeing for O1 petition processing?
Yes, that's a great question. So as some of your viewers may know, there is two types of filings in the U.S. With USCIS. The first type of filing is your regular filing.
Mhm.
As you can imagine, the regular filing takes longer. Um, so and again, this is just estimates. When you file your regular processing, it takes about 2 to 4 months to be processed. It could take more, it could take less. It all depends. If you have ever interacted with USCIS or the Department of State or any other immigration agency, it's a very subjective process. So your case may take 2 months or may take 4 months. That's sort of outside of our hands. Now what the O-1 as well as other categories and some of your viewers may be familiar with, is the premium processing option. This is and I'm only referring to the O-1 context. So the way premium processing works is you have to submit an additional fee, which right now is $2,805, which guarantees, and quote unquote guarantees, that USCIS will make a decision within 15 days, 15 calendar days. So that means in 15 days, either they're going to approve the case or they're going to issue an RFE. And straight denial is really rare unless you present a case that it's that it's bare bones. So, usually that's premium processing again. And the other thing about premium processing is, let's say there's an RFE. Um, the, the 15 days start again once the USCIS receive the RFE response. So the first 15 years sort of disappear. They start over when if there is an RFE. Ideally, you will present a really strong case. I mean, I've had cases approved in less than a week. I've had cases approved in a couple of months. Again, it's a very subjective, but it usually, I like I said, I've done more than 100 O-1s in my career, and knock on wood, each case has been approved. But
Mhm.
again, it's a lot of preparation. It's a lot of legwork. Um, you have to be on top of it. You have to be really involved. Um, and then also you got to take into consideration how long it takes to get all the documents that you need. So, sometimes you can take a week if you're ready to go, or you can take, a couple of months, depending on, for example, what tech professional will probably rely on. It's recommendation letters, right? So those are probably, at least in all of the fields that I worked in, and I worked from retail to tech to even professional sports, securing recommendation letters, it requires some legwork. So yes, those, I mean, yeah, I don't want to deviate from the question. So yeah, you have standard timeline and you have the premium processing. So those are your two options.
All right, that's great. Thank you so much, Ralph. And Ricky, as usual, you have come up with so many questions, and it feels so good that you are such an active participant and viewer. So let me go ahead with another question, Ralph, that Ricky has for you. And he's asking that can one combine salary from two jobs to claim the high salary criteria if the individual salaries themselves don't satisfy the high salary criteria? Mhm.
Let me see if I understand the question. So does he mean two salaries at the same time, or I mean, is that what he means? I mean, you could make the argument that, I mean, it's all a matter of how you frame it. So let's say you're doing the same job at two different companies. You can make the argument that, yes, I mean, you, yeah, based on what you do, and if they're related, then
Mhm.
you can make that argument. Again, I want to remind Ricky that that's going to be only one criteria, though. So you're going to need others. And again, I always recommend clients to have at least 4 or 5, just to be on the safe side. Um, so that, yes, I mean, it depends how, again, it all comes down to a strategy. Like, how do you present
Mhm.
the salary? Like, I mean, let's say if you do one job that is almost identical to another one, if you have two salaries,
Mhm.
you can probably make an argument. But if they're completely unrelated, then that's probably more difficult to make. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, then thank you so much, Ralph and Ricky, also for participation. Now, Kriti also has a lot of follow-up questions. So, Ralph, I think let me go ahead with Kriti's question. So, Kriti is asking that, hi, Ralph, do you help candidates also patch the missing pieces in their profile? For example, if I have some media but it doesn't mention my name, then how can we go about seeking contacts in media to help with the editorial? I'm a machine learning engineer in big tech.
Yes, that's a good question, Christy. The best way to do that is when, and I'm going to tell you what's worked for me in the past. I've had the first case that come to mind is I have done a O-1 for a photographer
Oh,
who one of his jobs was to take photos for Apple. So he was taking pictures of everything that you see in the Apple commercials. He was the guy taking the pictures. So you know when you see those pictures, you don't see his name there. Um, so the way we did that is we included the picture, or in her case, we would include the article and then we would include a letter
mhm,
from either the editor or someone from from the magazine or the publication saying, yes, I can certify that, and then you can use that letter not only to certify that you were the one in the article, but
mhm,
you can also use that letter to meet the criteria that you have provided contributions to the field. You know what I mean? See how it's all strategic.
mhm.
You have to like, yeah, you have to think, try to meet as many criteria as you can. And I mean that's the workaround that has been helpful to me um and that's also where the recommendations that come in. Just because your name
Yeah.
um just
Mhm.
because your name is not in the article, that's not the end of the line. You can also, you can have someone from the publication write a letter and say, yes, she's the one we're referring to, or depending on what the case is. So
That's right. Okay. So let me go ahead, Ralph, with another question as you have answered Kriti's comment. So thank you, Kriti, and I hope you got your answer. In case if you have any other follow-up question regarding O1 visa, then please go ahead, put them on the comment section, and we will try to answer that. Okay, Durga Prasad, he's also here. So, hi, Durga. And if you are here for the very first time, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Our handle is at Immigration Talk Show. So, Ralph, he has a question that in your personal experience, what is the preference in big tech firms for hiring immigrants? Do they prefer hiring H-1B because the SOP already exists, or they prefer O-1 because O-1 is easier to file? Also,
yeah,
he's.
that yep, yeah. I saw his other question, so I
Okay.
can address those.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean, honestly, most big tech firms go with H-1B just because that applies to the majority of recent grads. On the other hand, if you have a particular specialty that is attractive to big tech, they may you may persuade them to do an O1. Um, again, um, what your viewer said. I mean, he's saying it's easier to file. I mean, I think that's kind of a risky way to put it. I mean, I don't think an O1 is necessarily easy to file
Mm-hmm.
because it requires a lot of legwork. But um, if you, like I said at the beginning, if you are a founder, probably the O1 is going to be your best shot, um, because you don't have to worry about the cap and you need talent right away.
Yeah.
Um, whether if your startup once down the line, I mean, unfortunately, that's not a prediction anyone can do. Hopefully, it won't. But once you get your O1, you usually get a 3-year period, and then you extend it by 1 year increments. I mean, it's if you're a founder, I would probably say go for the O1, but or if you have contacts in big tech, you may be able to persuade them that you have such a specialty that um,
Mhm.
an O1 may. And I mean, having an offer from, and I'm going to go back to what I said throughout our
Yeah.
time here together. It's
Mhm.
having an offer from a big tech firm also goes a long way. So that may even help you to meet one of the other criteria. So again, it all falls back as how much you can show. So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I would say, explore the O1. Um, Unfortunately, H-1B has limitations, but if you're a founder, probably the O1 is your way to go.
All right, that's great. And that's also very interesting, Ralph. And I think, friends, we are about to end our session. But before that, we're just going to go for a short break. So don't go anywhere, keep watching. And I think okay, Rajkumar is also here. So, Rajkumar, stay tuned. And friends, don't go anywhere. We are coming just right after a break. So keep watching Immigration Talk Show, and we'll be right back.
You know why I'm vacationing in Dubai right now? Because I stopped drowning in RFEs, intake calls, and late night filings. I used to hire freelancers who barely knew what a G28 was. Total chaos. Then I found IMI Support, virtual immigration paralegals trained in real case prep, DocketWise, and USCIS workflows. Now my calendar's clean, my clients are happy, and my firm runs while I relax. You can hustle or you can outsource smart. I chose freedom. I chose IMI Support.
Hello, everyone, and once again, welcome back to this very important and great conversation that we are having right now. None other than with attorney Ralph Antonioli, and he is explaining things greatly, beautifully, and in a very simple terms. I hope you guys are understanding and also able to understand all the criterias and all the questions in a very great way. Okay, Ralph. So I hope you're enjoying this session too, and by interacting with our viewers, you're also finding it interactive and, a good one. So I think let me go ahead with our some of the questions that we have for our viewers.
Yeah,
And
I want to emphasize to our viewers that the goal of having this
mhm,
conversation is to, you know, um, clear the air, because there's a lot of noise, there's a lot of misinformation, and I appreciate this type of programs that you put together because it helps people to, really learn what's going on on the
yeah,
ground, as they say here in the United States. There's a lot of misinformation. There is a lot of, and unfortunately, I always caution people because there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of people who give you false information just so you can,
yeah,
you can, I mean, for lack of a better word, so they can take advantage of you. So this is one of the, and I would, and that this is why I appreciate the type of shows that you guys do, because this is a way to, you know, set the record straight and say, okay, this is really what's going on. I mean, don't. I always recommend my clients, before you believe anything you see in the news, give me a call, because 9 out of 10 is not true. So, um,
mhm. I think
yeah,
that's so sweet of you, Ralph, and I really appreciate your kind words. Thank you so much. And I'll say because of experts like you, this show becomes a wonderful one. It's not only from my side, but the insights that you're putting and bringing up so much onto the table hats off, and the energy you are putting in this webinar, it's visible that we are getting a lot of engagement. So with your request, if you're okay, can we extend 5 more minutes, and after that we can end up the session, if you're okay with it?
Absolutely. I'm here. Yeah, I'm here whenever you need me. So,
Okay, that's great.
and to
So
your viewers, feel free to email me if you have specific questions. I
yeah.
mean, happy to help in any way I can.
That's right. That's right. And friends, I think that's a great idea. And we have been sharing, Ralph's this link where you'll get the contact details of him. So go ahead. And I think due to some time restriction, we have to leave this session just after 5 minutes. So maybe we won't be able to take all the questions, but you are free to go ahead and drop your status, your case, or questions on Ralph's email ID. And let me go ahead with some of the questions, and let's try as much as we can cover. So I think let's take up Rudra's question here. So Rudra has a pretty long question. He's saying that, hi, I'm a VAWA approved applicant. I had second interview after my waivers approved. Interview went pretty well, but officer put my case under administrative processing. But yesterday I got a letter from embassy saying I suppose submit my waivers notice. And on
Yeah, I'm
CV,
going to. I'm going to answer that real quick. I mean,
sure.
this. The question is, I am a business immigration lawyer, and VAWAS is kind of outside of my
Okay.
hat of capabilities. What I would recommend is if you file your VAWA with an attorney, please reach out to your attorney and make sure that he is, he's proactive about all these um, requirements. Unfortunately, I just can't. I mean, I'm not in a position to tell you whether that's a good sign or not because that's just not the type of cases I do. Um, the case, so I highly recommend that you get in touch with your lawyer, and you know,
Mhm.
that's probably what I can suggest.
Okay, that's not a problem, Ralph, and I think that's okay. You can go ahead. I think yeah, Rudra. I'm so sorry, I forgot your name. Rudra, you can go ahead and look for some other immigration attorney, and of course they're going to help you. In case if you have any other question regarding O-1 visa, then please go ahead and put them on the comment section. We are going to take that. Okay, so Raj Kumar is also here and he's asking, my perm date is on May 2025. I was on L1B from July 2023 to April 2025. Now I'm on H-1B and enters USA on 14 June. So can I work outside USA for a couple of months?
Um, I mean, if you work outside the United States, then um, so what? I mean, I think I need a little more information. Do you want to come back to the United States in H-1B or an L-1A, or so what's your plan? Like,
Mhm.
um, why
Yeah.
are you going to be outside the United States for 2 years? Are you, I kind of need a little more information. Um,
Mhm. That's right. And Rajkumar, I hope if you're watching our session, please go ahead and do let us know, what you are looking for or what your future plans are going to be. Then that will be a little easier for us to understand, and Ralph is going to answer
y-
it properly. Yes,
yeah,
Ralph.
because if I know like what I mean, there may be some implications on your H-1B status if you may be, again, I don't know the facts, but you may, if you leave for a certain period of time, you may have to um, be subject to the cap again. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts there, so we kind of need a little more information on what your plans are, so that.
Okay. He's saying something on same company.
So okay, yeah. I mean, it's so. Is the plan for you to come back, or
Um, I
I mean,
think
if it's the same company, then
I think will affect. Okay, he's asking, will it affect my perm process?
nope. No, I will not.
Okay, that's all right. And with that, Ralph, I think we have covered, but this is just the last question that I would like to take up. And after this, we can let you go because it's already so much we have covered. So Nirav is here, and Nirav is asking that how much evidence is enough for an O1 petition? I mean, is 5 letters of recommendation enough or 10? Should I be aiming for quantity or quality? Yes, Ralph.
I think this question answer itself. It's all about quality. So, I mean, you can have 10 letters that say nothing, or you can have one, or you can have 5 letters that says a lot. Um,
Yeah.
at the end, I mean, just to put it as simple as I can, I mean, if you have a letter that says, I really like to work with this guy and he's really great and this and that, that's probably not going to cut it. You need a letter that goes in detail as to why you are on top of your field. That's the goal. I mean, and I'm going to speak from a particular cases. For example, I did a lot of cases for people in the C-suites who are executives, and those letters were, I mean, they go into so many details. Some of the letters are like 4 or 5 pages. Um, and the answer is you have to be objective. If the letter explains why you are, if you have 3 letters that are great and go into a lot of detail,
Mhm.
they're much better than 10 letters that say nothing. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I
that's
hope I
beautifully.
hope that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah, Ralph, please go ahead if you want to add up anything.
No, I just want to remind your viewers here, and this goes back to what I said earlier about we why we have, or why you guys also have these shows. It's, I'm an immigrant myself, so I know. And my job is to sort of, I always tell people, I'm an immigration lawyer because I want to be the lawyer I never had when I came here. So, I'm happy to provide a hand to anyone. And but again, you have to be willing to put in the work. It's not just like the last question said. I mean, it's not about quantity. It's,
Yeah,
some people say, well, I'm sending a package that is 300 pages, but like, what's in the 300 pages? You can send a package that is 50, but it has a lot more value than something that is 300 is just paper.
yeah,
So yeah, I just want to add that it's, it's very subjective, but at the same time, it requires, um, it's not easy, but it's not impossible.
that's true.
It's, and it
Mhm.
requires, I mean, you need to be mentally prepared for to put in a lot of work, be as detailed as you can,
Yeah,
be, and be proactive, be focus on why you're good, focus, and you have to sell yourself. That's the key. So, I mean, if you can sell your story to me, then there's probably a high chance you're going to sell it to the USCIS too. So
all right, that's wonderful. And Ralph, I think your answers are marvelous, and you have been explaining things in a very detailed manner, in a very simple terms. Everybody is understanding everything. And I think it's not only Ralph, on YouTube or on X we have got a lot of viewers, but the great news is that on Facebook also we have so many viewers. So I think it's already 1 hour 10 minutes. So if you are okay with your permission, can we extend like for 5 more minutes, or would you like to take a leave? It's
yes,
completely on you.
no, that's fine. We can chat.
Okay, that's great. So yeah, we can take few questions from Facebook side, and control if you can please share the
Okay.
screen. And yeah, let's take some Facebook as well. Okay, so we have a question, and it is that, hi all, has anyone applied for an O1 visa renewal or extension with the same employer? If so, could you please share details about the process and also required documents for the O1 visa extension?
Yes, that's a great question. I'm not sure if he heard my comments at the beginning, but typically when you apply for the visa for the first time, you get a 3-year period. then when you can spend indefinitely in 1 year increments. So after the 3 years, you go 1 year. You have to extend your O1 every year. The key here is to continue to show that you remain a person of extraordinary ability. So your O1 extension is not going to be identical to your initial, but it will
Yeah.
be updated materials. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, if you in your original O1 you said I published 10 articles, in your extension you should probably say I published 10 more, or I published 5 more. You need to continue to show that you still remain a person of extraordinary ability. I mean, it will be very similar, not identical, similar to
Yeah.
your initial filing. So your initial filing is your foundation, and then whenever it comes to time for you to extend every year, then you make sure you're updating your credentials. So that's how extensions work.
All right. Okay. And let's move ahead with our next question. So this we have from anonymous member who's asking that, hi, my O1 case has been pending for 8 months now in Vermont office. I'm considering upgrading to premium as I already lost 3 months on my visa and I'm anxious. Is it a good idea to upgrading now or is it better to wait? How much more could I be waiting for? I'll be grateful for some insights from someone with experience. Yes, Ralph.
Yes, like I said at the beginning, the the immigration process is very subjective. Someone can look at your application tomorrow, or they can, someone can look
Mhm.
at it in 2 or 3 months. At the end of the day, this is how comfortable are you with the strength of your petition? I mean, how many, for example, I would look at how many criteria do you argue. If you argue 5 or 6, then I would think premium processing, it's a good idea. Um, I do want to caution you, though, however, like I said at the beginning, not at the beginning or during this show, when we spoke about premium processing, is that once you pay the premium processing fee, they have 15 calendar days to either issue an RFE or approve your case.
Mhm.
If they issue an RFE, then the 15-day clock resets. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, the 15 days won't start until you respond to the RFE. So, I mean, this is really a judgment call. I mean,
Yeah.
how comfortable are you with what you already submitted? Um,
Mhm.
so I think if you have argued for at least 5 or 6, or even 4 or 5
Mhm.
criteria, I would say go for premium processing. If I mean, if you're willing to pay the fee, I mean, go for it.
Okay, that's great. And thank you so much, Ralph, for taking up this question too. And let's move ahead with our last question of today's webinar. This is hello everyone. I'm trying to complete Form I-129 for my O-1A visa application. I'm filing through an agent and I'm not sure which information to use for Part 5, information about the proposed employment and employer. I have a job offer from some company and I don't know whether to use the company information or the agent information.
Yeah, that's a great question. So, I mean, usually people use an agent
Mhm.
when the person will work in more than one location. So the way an agent O1 works is the agent is the petitioner, and then you send what's called an itinerary, right? So you say, okay, this person is going to work for company A from this date to this date, company B from this date to this date. This is a strategic filing so that someone can work
Mhm.
for more than one employer. If you're only going to work for one employer, I would recommend that that company actually be the petitioner. That's probably the best
Okay.
strategy, because if you do an agent, and again, I'm not guaranteeing, or I'm not, please don't take this for um If you're looking if you're filing through an agent and you are only working in one company, this may raise some flags. Again, I don't want to scare you, but I'm just we're here to be honest. And if you only have one employer, if you have one employer, I will probably have the employee be the petitioner. That's more straightforward than you don't want them asking, okay, why are you using an agent? Is there really a job? You don't want to, you don't want to open yourself to more questions. So I hope that helps.
All right. And I think that's all for today's episode, Ralph. So we have covered, I think, so many questions, multiple questions from viewers from Facebook, X, and also from YouTube as well. So I'll say that it was really a great session and a great conversation to have with you. You have explained everything, with great insights, great point of views, and of course, the knowledge is commendable. So thank you so much, Ralph, for being here. I really appreciate your time, your support, and got a great engagement from our viewers. So once again, thank you so much, and we are really honored to have a show with you.
Well, thank you so much for having me here. And like I said, feel free to shoot me an email. I'm happy to help you. We can brainstorm together, whatever you need, just let me know. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Ralph. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you. All right, friends. So that's all for today's webinar. It was pretty long, but very informative. Don't forget to share the link of this session with your friends or the one who are looking for the O-1 visa. It's a great chance to shine. No lottery, no long wait times. A great opportunity for you to go ahead and work in the USA. And with that, the best part is you can also email me in case if you want to cover any other topic, any other visa category for our next session with attorney Ralph Antonioli. Then please go ahead and share me on my email address, that is sam@staffingly.com. And with that, friends, thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Our handle is @Immigration Talk Show. It's me, Sam, signing off for now. Till then, goodbye, everyone, and take care.
You know why I'm vacationing in Dubai right now? Because I stopped drowning in RFEs, intake calls, and late night filings. I used to hire freelancers who barely knew what a G28 was. Total chaos. Then I found IMI Support, virtual immigration paralegals trained in real case prep, DocketWise, and USCIS workflows. Now my calendar's clean, my clients are happy, and my firm runs while I relax. You can hustle or you can outsource smart. I chose freedom. I chose IMI Support.